Ultimately, all you have to know is that you do not wish to support the suffering of animals. Now, if you find yourself in a situation, you're tabling or leafleting or doing some other outreach, and somebody asks you a question for which you do not have an answer, there's nothing wrong with saying, "I'm sorry, I don't know, but if you'll give me your contact information, I'll find out for you." I'm going to be talking a little bit more about this topic in a few minutes. Myth number 3 is that animal activists have to be perfect. Well, wrong again. Just about everything that we consume at some level harms animals and insects. That's just an unfortunate fact of modern life. It's very, very hard to get around that. It's also true that the main reason people don't become vegan is they don't think it's convenient enough. They think it's too hard. Well, please don't make it harder for them. If you know someone, for example, who says, "Well, I could be vegan, but I just couldn't give up ice cream." Well, if you believe that person is ready to give up meat, to give up eggs, and to give up all other dairy products but ice cream, well, I think that's a pretty incredible victory for animals. So mentor that person. Bring them over from the dark side. And then when they've been mostly vegan for a couple of weeks, introduce them to Soy Delicious or one of the other outstanding non-dairy ice creams. Even Trader Joe's has their own brand of vegan ice cream, a whole selection of it. Animals do not need our purity, so please don't let perfection get in the way of being an effective advocate. Okay, so how do we become effective advocates? Well, in speaking with the 120 or so activists that I did around the world, I learned a lot on top of my own years as an activist. So I'm going to share what I believe are the most effective pieces of advice. And the first one, and probably the most important, is to be friendly. Be approachable. Be the person other people can come to with questions without fear of being ridiculed. Nobody is impressed by the angry vegan or the in-your-face animal activist, unless your name is Krista Rose. As Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world. I also recommend that you practice your rhetoric. Get comfortable talking about animal issues. Now, I know what you may be thinking. Didn't he just say we didn't have to have all the answers? What I mean is practice answering the common questions. If you're vegan, for example, where do you get your protein? We've all heard that. Here's one that I heard on a radio interview earlier this month. Don't plants feel pain? I told the interviewer, no, they don't have a central nervous system, they don't have pain receptors, but if somebody is really concerned that plants feel pain, it's better to go vegetarian or vegan because most of the world's crops go to feed animals. Yeah. The other question I got once while tabling is, well, if we didn't eat animals, wouldn't they either become extinct or take over the world? I'm not sure how the person who asked me that managed to reconcile those opposing scenarios, but nonetheless, these are the kinds of questions that we get, and it's important that we have some comfort level in answering them. We don't have to be experts, but if you've been an activist for a long enough time, you hear these questions over and over, and it's good to have an answer. It's good to know how to respond. I also recommend that we exploit the internet and email. I probably don't have to tell anybody here that the internet has revolutionized how we engage in activism. Activists are going online to find factory farms. They're posting videos. Does anybody have a MySpace page? I don't know why I'm raising my hand. Okay? That's an incredible tool. We're blogging about veganism. We're doing podcasts about animal rights. And of course, an adjunct to the internet is email. And here's my tip for the day. If you haven't done so already, add an auto-signature to your email, so that every time you send out a message in your email, you're including a link to a campaign or for a free vegetarian starter kit. Just something with a message, a link about factory farming, anything.
Mark, is that called an auto link?
It's an auto-signature.
Auto.
It's usually under your options in your email account. Email is also great for viral marketing. And for anybody who may be unfamiliar with the term, viral marketing is viral with a V. It's the 21st century version of word of mouth. But instead of telling one person about something they just have to see, you're telling hundreds or potentially thousands around the world. I got an email recently with the subject line, "Fun with Veggies." And some very creative person had taken fruits and vegetables and transformed them to look like animals. Cauliflower and black olives were made to look like sheep. Green peppers were made to look like frogs. It was really incredible. And I know a lot of people agreed with me because I got the same email 3 times in the same day from 3 different people. Well, imagine the power that email could have had if the originator had included a link or two about animals. I'm sure this email went around the world. If that person had included something about factory farming, or here's a link for a free vegetarian starter kit, or here's some information about the sentience of animals, anything. Well, you can start your own viral marketing, your own viral email. You can go to a site like cuteoverload.com, which features thousands of images of animals. They're all safe images. They're not from factory farms or vivisection labs. And you can copy and paste 5 or 6 of these, put them in the body of an email, include your links, send it out to 50 or 100 of your closest friends. There you go. Moreover, I think it's important that we expand our boundaries. In order for us to grow as activists, we need to get out of our comfort zones. We need to push ourselves just a little. Shortly after I got involved in activism, I decided I wanted to try leafleting. Well, I'm basically a very shy person. And so the thought of going to a university campus handing out vegan outreach literature was pretty intimidating. But I did it. I found out it's not that hard, it's fun. I still enjoy doing it, and I think it made me a better activist. Well, I'm from California, and California is one of 24 states in the country that allows citizens to bring an initiative to the ballot for a vote. Late last year, a number of organizations, including Farm Sanctuary and HSUS, were pushing a measure called the Prevention of Farm Animal Cruelty Act. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. Well, in order to qualify for the ballot, they needed to get a certain amount of signatures, I think it was about 450,000, from registered voters in the state, and they needed volunteers to collect signatures. Well, being a shy person, of course, I raised my hand and found myself in front of the co-op and Whole Foods or wherever asking for signatures. It was way, way out of my comfort zone, but I did it, and I'm not going to say it was that easy, but I think it made me a better activist.